yes, I do look forward to the fun.
And to raising funds for the church. I'm so pleased that the Mad Hatter and Alice entrusted us with tracking the auction donation submissions. We currently have 2.
That's perfect. One for each of us. Are we done?
No. We need many more than just 2.
I wonder what I could give to the auction. I know. I'd like to donate the Cheshire Cat.
Oh no. Contrary-wise, I don't think you can donate Cheshire. He's our friend. Well, he can be kind of annoying, but you can't sell him. Perhaps you could donate cat-sitting services.
That's a great idea. But contrary-wise, I don't like to scoop litter boxes. No how.
Well, what do you like to do?
Eat.
Well, now you're talking. That opens up the whole world of possibilities. You could host a themed dinner party or teach a cooking class of some kind.
I cooked something for my girlfriend once. She called it indelibly inedible.
You could host a dinner out at a nice restaurant, or give a themed basket including some sort of food and maybe wine, or a restaurant gift certificate. Can you think of anything else that you like to do?
Play games, but I suppose that's no help for the auction, no how.
Contrary-wise, that's a capital interest to share. You could offer a murder mystery party, or take a group to an escape room.
What are you going to give to the auction?
That is a dilemma. I'd like to teach a class, or perform a service, or make something, but I have so many interests and talents, I'm afraid I can't choose between them, no how. I expect it's the same for you.
Contrary-wise, it isn't so, no how. I have no special interests or talents or gifts.
Contrary-wise, if it was so, it might be, and if it were so, it would be, but as it isn't, it ain't. That's logic.
I can't argue with that. I suppose I could teach croquet or host a cornhole contest.
That's the spirit, and I suspect you have some lovely and beautiful things in your home that you're no longer using.
Oh yes, I have an Instant Pot. I'm no longer licensed to use it.
And I've seen those adorable felted things you make. What do you call them again?
I call them blobs, or dryer balls if I'm trying to impress somebody.
Oh, no, contrary-wise, I mean the ones that look like the dormouse.
I call these church mice, but I can make anything out of wool roving.
There you have it, a perfect silent auction donation. You have so many things to choose from, and if you apply your imagination, the possibilities are endless.
I'm sure the auction catalog will be bursting with things I want to bid on.
And the bidding competition will be stiff. Stay tuned.
Welcome, friends, newcomers, old-timers, seekers, skeptics, saints of habits and rebels of the heart. Here we gather not because we think the same, but because we choose to journey together. Belonging is not something given. It's something we build with open hands and open hearts. It is made in the sharing of stories, the holding of silences, the courage to show up just as we are. Here, we practice a radical hospitality, not of perfection, but of presence. May we make this place a shelter for the soul, a workshop for justice, a sanctuary where love is not merely spoken, but lived deeply. Again, in trust, in hope, in the spirit of belonging. Come, let us worship together. Let us join our voices in hymn number 346 in the gray hymnal, Come, Come, Sing Us. Oh, come sing a song with me.
Please remain standing as Maureen Hayes lights our chalice with these words of Ben Atherton Zaman, which have been adapted. As we light the flame of our chalice, we ignite it inside of ourselves. Our commitment to our mission and to one another is an unquenchable flame. Let us remember that we are not alone until we light this flame next time.
Every
story for all ages. I invite you to gather around to hear a special story called Everybody's Welcome by Patricia Henry, illustrated by Greg Abbott. Okay. In the forest clearing, there is a little mouse dreaming of the future in a great, big, happy house. Suddenly, a frog appears with a sorry tale of woe. My pond, my home, is all dried up. I have no place to go. Froggy, please don't worry. You can stick with me. Everything will be all right. Just wait and see. Let's build a home together. We'll make it big and strong. And once we get it started, you won't be sad for long. Everybody's welcome, no matter who they are, wherever they may come from, whether near or far. Please help us, cry the rabbits. We've had an awful scare. An eagle chased us from our home. Do you have room to spare? Everybody's welcome. If you need a place to hide, come and help us build this house. You'll all be safe inside. Some of us can form a chain and all work as a team. We'll build a shelter, stick by stick, following our dreams. I'm all alone, cries Big Brown Bear, with teardrops in his eyes. I frighten other people off because of my great size. Come along and join us there. A great big guy like you is just what we've been missing. There's so much you can do. Everybody's welcome, and all can play their parts. Just look at Big Brown Bear. He's already made a start. Flapping and fluttering, a flock of birds arrive. Someone chopped down our tree. How will we all survive? If we all work together, no task is too great, even if some helpers arrive a little late. And the news will soon spread. For miles around. Of what we are building, a home safe and sound. As the rain clouds gather in a dark and stormy sky, the animals keep building a roof to keep them dry. When our house is ready and everything's complete, we'll all live here together and life will be so sweet. Our home will be so happy and we'll fill it up with song. Everyone who lives here will know that they belong. Thanks for listening. seated for our prayer hymn, number 1053, in the teal hymnal, How Could Anyone? Spirit of love and life, source of all that is. May we know the feel of wind on our cheeks, the taste of honey on our lips, the scent of wild flowers on our inhalation, as we treasure this world and all she has to offer. As we know we are but one piece of all that is. May we know the dust of stars that runs in our veins, the atoms of mountains and forests and oceans of times past, held in our skin and our hearts and our hands. We are held in the miracle of this world of transformation and rebirth. May we know, too, that when our finite lives end, we return to the earth, becoming but a piece of all that is yet to come. Us in the rain and the clouds and the snowflakes. May this offer solace in knowing that we are part of all the beauty that will ever be. And may this offer strength in knowing we are holding the ancestors of eons past within us. May we know we are bound to one another just as we are bound in nature. We are interconnected in sacred and holy ways, in blessed and beloved ways. We are bound together in shared joy and wonder, in shared grief and sorrow, held always in the embrace of eternity. Blessed be, and amen. I invite you in the silence to come forward and light a candle for any joys or concerns you hold in your heart this morning. I light a candle for the joys and concerns of those beloveds joining us virtually. And I light a candle for all else that we hold in our hearts and our minds this morning. If your heart is hurting, know that your community is here to help, as am I. Please reach out with any needs.
Our offering words are by Joe Von Rue. In our world, many voices are silenced. Many truths remain unspoken because the speaker fears rejection, judgment, or worse. Our financial offerings today help sustain this congregation as a place where all voices can be heard, where truth can be spoken without fear, where vulnerability is met with compassion. We give in gratitude for this beloved community and with hope for a world where more voices can speak their truth. For all that you give and all that you do for our church and its wider concerns, we give thanks. Our first reading is by John O'Donohue. There is a lovely balance at the heart of our nature. Each of us is utterly unique, and yet we live in the most intimate kinship with everyone and everything else. Its more profound intention is the awakening of the great belonging, which embraces everything. Our hunger to belong is the desire to awaken this hidden affinity. Then we know that we are not outsiders cut off from everything, but rather participants at the heart of creation. Hear the words of David Steindl Rast. Every one of us is a mystic because we have this experience of limitless belonging, once in a while, out of the blue. But what we call the great mystics, they let this experience determine and shape every moment of their lives. They never forgot it, and we humans The rest of us tend to forget it. I invite you to rise in body or spirit to join our voices in hymn 121, We'll Build a Land.
A long, long time ago, the Buddha sat in contemplation alongside a group of his disciples. They reflected under the night sky scattered with an expanse of stars. One of his disciples inquired, "What is the foundation of life and the world?" The Buddha paused in introspection and offered an ancient Buddhist tale. There was a god named Indra, he began, who established the foundations of the world. Indra, in all of his wisdom, created a great and powerful net. The net reached out in infinity like a spider web encompassing all that is. At every place where the threads overlapped, he placed a gem that reflected all the others. A disciple inquired, "Where are those gems you're talking about? I do not see them in this world." The Buddha responded, "The gems are a piece of each human being, each animal, each tree and plant, each speck of dust, each idea or thought, each feeling. At every moment, The whole world is reflected within you, and you are reflected inside everything that exists. The student's eyes were wet with tears, reflecting all of the stars in the night sky as if a gem. We belong to everything, and everything belongs to us. What do we mean by belonging? Between each human being, it is to feel accepted and welcomed by another as our full, genuine, and vulnerable selves. In belonging to everything, we take this sentiment and expand it to all that is rippling throughout time and space. A reciprocal moment of mutual acceptance, curiosity, and wonder. A blessed vulnerability and a place where we feel safe and cared for. Perhaps most succinctly, it's a profound sense of interconnection. So many of us feel vulnerable, isolated, sorrowful, or lonely this moment, past moments, future moments. It's entirely inevitable. And it is heartbreaking. And it is difficult to traverse life in this frame of mind. We all know this. And this is why we need belonging, because it provides hope that we will connect with love and acceptance. It provides solace that we hold the wisdom and strength of the ancestors inside of us. It brings peace knowing that we are connected to all things beautiful, awesome, and breathtaking. It provides inspiration knowing that we are connected to a beautiful future. No one religion or culture or scientific inquiry can teach us how to experience universal belonging. But there are certain insights that help each one can help provide. I want to begin with a short response from Buddhism. In this faith, we have each lived countless past lives. To reconcile the brief history of lives on this planet, some believe that there have been other universes where at some point we resided. We have been with the same living beings more times than we can count. As such, we belong, we are interconnected intimately to every life that has ever been. And yet, it's more than this. When we encounter another being, at some point in time, they were an attentive and blessed and caring mother to us. Whomever we encounter has at one point loved us fully and unconditionally, even those who today cause us great harm. We belong to each other in every person, beloveds and enemies, in sacred and timeless ways. Mysticism offers insights as well, lifting up all that is awe-filled and wondersome. Mysticism is a deeply experiential faith. It is knowledge acquired by holy experiences. It is wonder and awe. It is sorrow and grief. It is a certain kind of knowledge that is inaccessible to the intellect, attained by contemplation and a surrendering of self. Deep and personal experiences allow mystics to become one with the divine or the absolute. The idea of mysticism is but a piece of myriad faith traditions. Again, I offer the quote by Benedictine monk David Steindl-Rast. Every one of us is a mystic because we have experience of this limitless belonging, once in a while, out of the blue. But what we call the great mystics, they let this experience determine and shape every moment of their lives. They never forget it. And we, humans, the rest of us tend to forget it. I've had my own mystical experiences of infinite belonging, and what I am challenged to reflect upon is how I can let these experiences shape and mold every moment of my life instead of forgetting the profound, sacred lessons these experiences taught me. I think of a moment lying underneath a vast, seemingly endless, velvety night sky, filled with stars and constellations, even the periodic shooting star. I lay on the cool sand of a nighttime beach, listening to the sound of the waves crashing on the shore. It was a sacred moment I have never forgotten. If I were to live as a standard human, I would appreciate the stars and then slowly forget the spiritual impact. If I were to live as a mystic, I would carry with me wonder, awe, beauty, and expansiveness into each moment of each of my days. So too is it with experiences that break our hearts and shatter our spirits. I think of standing by the bedside of one who is about to transition from this realm to the next, a poignant and sorrowful time. Death is one of the most sacred things we will ever encounter, filled with a holy and mysterious unknown. I think of the passing of my stepfather, for which I was present holding his hand and his rosary. I am called to take with me from this experience all that will continue to reverberate in my being just as a mystic would. Finite, mystery, wonder, sorrow. Through the experiences of awe and grief, we experience what Steindl Rast terms limitless belonging. Christianity offers its own points of belonging and interconnection between humans and divinity. I use the word God in this reflection because that is the language of this faith. Some Christian theologians pose the question, what if God, what if all that is sacred and holy is held in every object or being in this finite realm? The dirty dishes, the socks, each stranger on the street, just as in the flowers or the waterfall. God is in each of us, in our spirits, our hearts, our bones. Cynthia Borgault, an Episcopal priest, offers insight in her book, Wisdom Jesus. Borgault writes, we are each held in God, but an intimate piece of the expansive unknown. The author writes that, furthermore, in acts of compassion, kindness, and love, we see the divine mirrored in ourselves. In acts of service and empathy, divinity is in our touch and sight and breath. I offer a similar Christian theology that touched me, that a broken world is the perfect place for divine love. Sorrow, grief, poverty, prisons, or brothels, that is where God is most present. Racism, sexism, xenophobia, God is with the least of these. Furthermore, we all reside in the kingdom of heaven. To some, heaven is another realm. To others, it is right here, right now. How can we work to build this heaven that is right within our grasp? We love each other, dear ones. And when any of us connects to God, divine love is both everlasting and immediate. And in this faith, we belong, human to human, as well as human to God. Beyond the spiritual is the cultural. Having majored in cultural anthropology, I have to say that this fascinates me. Each culture has its own spiritual meaning-making, its own rites of passage, its own understanding of evil, its own medicinal practices, its own language, its own familial structure. Today we focus on indigenous meaning making, including interconnectedness and this idea of belonging. What is key is this: people, land, animals, and spirits are all deeply interdependent. Where the dominant culture practices dominion over land, the indigenous practice stewardship, tending to the creatures and the vegetation. Ancestral lands serve as a bedrock for identity and spirituality. Indigenous beliefs that everything, finite and infinite, animate and inanimate, is deeply interconnected. This includes connections with both the ancestors and the descendants yet to be, and furthermore to the entire community. We, alongside land, animals, and spirits, are crucial elements in the practice of reciprocity. This is a unique spiritual meaning making, just as we each have our own. I want to bring science into this too, specifically atoms. Every atom in our body has existed in eons, and people, animals, plants, rocks, waterfalls. Within our bodies, we hold stardust. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson offers this: stars explode, scatter elements throughout the universe, needed to create more stars, which creates planets, which create life. It's all interconnected. Within our body, we hold the blood of our ancestors, just as we hold within us a tiny, tiny piece of the expansive history of this ancient planet. Just as we were each a tree and a rainbow, so too will we each become a caterpillar and a rock and a snowflake. In our bodies, we tangibly hold all of history. Tyson again offers even our breath is history. Every molecule in our breath spreads to all other breaths that have ever been and ever will be. We breathe the same molecules of air as Jesus, as Muhammad, as the Buddha. In this very real sense, we intimately belong to everything that has ever been, and upon our death, we will return to whatever the future of our world holds. We are each a gem, but one sacred piece of Indra's eternal web. We and our thoughts of compassion, the flowers in our garden, our beloved ancestors and the dust we inhale, each but a piece of a vast and beautiful expanse. We inevitably hold in our bodies vulnerability, isolation, sorrow, or loneliness that is part of the human condition. And yet, all of us, in our joys and sorrows, in our grief and accomplishments, we have belonged since the stars exploded and Indra's net first formed the world. We are intimately interconnected, like the web of a spider or the web of Indra. In each moment, we hold the world within us just as we are held within the world right now in these pews. To divinity and mystical experiences and atoms and sacred land. Look at your neighbor and see yourself reflected in their eyes and their smile. Pause in your seats and feel infinity held within. Glance up at the stars this evening and know that you share the same dust. Know, this day and every day, that you belong. May it be so, and amen. Please rise in body or spirit to join our voices in hymn number 118, This Little Light of Mine, in the gray hymnal. once leave this space, eternity held in the palm of your hand. Tonight, your eyes reflecting the stars of the sky, but a gem in an infinite web. In our hearts we hold the ancestors of the world. In our souls, each cascading waterfall. In our minds, every thought that the world has ever conceived. Go, beloveds, held in all that is. Go in peace and amen.